Gamers, welcome to another Etheria restart video. Hope you guys are having an amazing Friday. Guys, we have so many things to cover in today's video because we have a huge announcement from the developers or community manager. Basically, they're kind of like touching on most of the pain points. So we're going to go over it. It's kind of like what's next in Etheria restart. We have a bunch of things that they are planning to introduce into the game in terms of QOL and many other things. But before we dive into it, I just want to give a big shout out to Etheria Restart for sponsoring today's video. No game is perfect, okay? They all have some good things, some bad things. And the good thing is that the devs are actively working on finding solutions for most of the pain points. Without further ado, let's actually dive straight into it. If you guys enjoy the content, do me a favor, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. I will be hosting a giveaway where I'll be giving over 30 Apex summons once we reach 1,000 subscribers on the channel. But developer update, what is next for Etheria Restart? Hey hyperlinkers, we know it's been a while since you've heard directly from us, and we want to start by saying thank you for sticking with us. All of us here believe strongly in the long-term success of the game and want you to know we are not going anywhere. That's good to know, right? Because hey, I do enjoy playing the game and I do enjoy covering the game. We've seen your feedback, especially around our communication, game balance, time investment issues, PvP meta, events, and much more. Yes, the communication could be a bit more on point, but they are not doing too bad, okay? At the beginning, they had a bit of a hiccup where they kind of like disappeared for a while. They haven't said much. But since then, I feel like regularly they're kind of like keeping us posted with what plans they have. So that is definitely good to see. Game balance, I feel like in a way or another, more or less, the game balancing thing is kind of like okay-ish. Yes, we have Rangokutsu that's extremely busted as a boss. Either you farm him super slow, either you're gonna fail like freaking 8 out of 10. A lot of RNG with most of the dungeons. Personally, I would love to see that 10% chance being reduced in PvE, because it really sucks when you're getting resisted left and right and you fail your run because of it, right? But hey, PvP meta is a bit too painful at the moment. All bruisers, bloodbath everywhere, fights taking freaking 5 minutes. Let me know what you guys think about that too. But of course, no matter how you're addressing this situation, there's always going to be the meta. Last season, we had a revelation shell, which a lot of people were complaining of, that, oh my god, it's too powerful. A lot of people complain now that, oh my god, bloodbath and all the bruisers are just taking over. It's too crazy and stuff like that. Talking about events as well, some of them that are a bit too RNG-ish, but we're going to see what plans they have for that. We're making major strides behind the scenes to keep improving the game using your feedback and our own personal experience as the driver, which means that they are playing the game actively. They're testing the things that they are bringing into the game to see if they are happy with. Now that, of course, it doesn't necessarily mean that everything's perfect, because I'm going to have a different opinion, you're going to have a different opinion, he's going to have a different opinion, and heck, even her, she's going to have a different opinion. Some might like the event, some might not, so it's pretty hard to kind of like please everybody, okay? I'm not too stressed about the events. The one that I really dislike is the gambling one for the PvP. I do not take part in that at all, because it's kind of like me giving feedback. I don't like it, I'm not going to play it, right? So probably they will look at all of their metrics and be like, okay, well, in this event, not many people took part, so maybe it's not a good event, right? At least I would assume so. But either way, improving communication and community involvement. I don't think they have much of a like action in their Discord, like where they communicate directly with people, but truth be told, I am not active in that Discord either, so I wouldn't know very good. But from what I've seen at the beginning, when I was kind of like trying to look for that, I haven't seen much activity from their people working for the company, just the mods, right? We're committing to more active dialogue with the community. Today's post is the first, but when important opportunities arise, we'll be empowering community discussion on specific topics that we need to focus, that we need feedback on. For example, later on in this post, we will be discussing the RTA meta, and we'll be asking for your thoughts and contributions as the topic for us to read, so that we don't make decisions that may be out of touch with the general player base. That's actually very, very good, very important to keep this part in mind. General player base, because without the general player base, there won't be a game, because even if you have 10, 20, 200, 2000 whales playing the game is dead with that. Plus, the whales love to flex it on the rest, so if they cannot do that, they will get bored as well. Then, previously, we had nerf revelation due to many community complaints, exactly what I was saying before. But this came with many concerns and has given us more to correct. Exactly, because every action has a reaction. And because revelation was good to basically deal with some of the bruisers, even though before you were able to counter it with bloodbath, right? Now, you do not have that weapon versus the bloodbath, which makes the fights really long. We want to be very careful forward with balancing out the meta, and hearing your voices in constructive detail will be very important for topics like this. So that's the thing right here. You cannot listen to everything that the community is saying, because you know what? 50-60% of it is going to be trash feedback shared by people that do not really play the game. So as harsh as it may sound, if you want your game to be successful, you have to be extremely careful when you're rebalancing based on the community feedback. Because most of the times, they will complain about things that they either do not understand, they do not know how to control or counter, and that will cause more issues. And that is not just in this game, it's in every freaking single game that I've seen. Now, I'm not saying if it's something completely busted that absolutely destroys everything, yeah, fix it. But I don't think Revelation was as busted to absolutely destroy everything, because it had counters. As long as you have counters, it's not completely busted. But important topics like this, especially as the experience between top players and casual players can differ greatly and create complex challenges to overcome. Exactly. So they are casual players that log in the game, they love to summon, they might do some of the dailies, probably they won't play half of the game and they will back out, then they will drop their feedback. I have nothing against it. It's important to get feedback from everybody. But the thing is, they will drop feedback on things that they do not play, do not test, do not understand. And that's where the problem comes in. That's why you cannot listen to every single thing that the community is saying, because as good as it might sound for the community, thinking that, oh my god, yes, they're listening to everything, is going to hurt us more than we actually think, because the game won't be as good. Even though we might think it will, it's not, you know? And I've seen this from other games in the past, that's why I'm saying it. Of course, these moments won't be happening all of the time, but there are sure to be scenarios like the one above that requires greater detail, focus, and we want you to know this is something we believe to be important. I totally agree with that part. Time sync solutions in process. We hear you. The endgame grind can feel like a chore sometimes, especially when there are many tasks and event activities to complete each day alongside regular gear and shell farming. Our team is currently trying to figure out the best solution for this, especially for our long-term players. We're exploring ways to preserve the health of early game autoing while introducing smarter, less time-intensive farming options for the late game. Increasing available auto clears in the early game can be risky, as new players tend to be less efficient with using resources until they have more knowledge and experience. Absolutely agree. You can make this unlock once you're level 80 or something like that. Once you're level 80, or heck, even level 100. I feel like reaching level 100 was really not that much of a big deal. It took me, I can't remember, 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. Correct me if I'm wrong. I really haven't kept track. But I know it did not take me extremely long. And by the time you reach level 100, I mean, no matter how thick of a skull you've got, you should still have an understanding of the game. Kind of like know what you're doing with your resources, right? If you guys have any ideas you would like us to consider that keeps this in mind, feel free to submit feedback threads specifically addressing this topic. I mean, in order to do something about this, a few things that they could do is bring in some type of instant battles. So for example, a good example is in the Union, right? So versus the boss, just do insta battle. I don't have to see that every day multiple times. Insta battle right there, that will fix the problem. Then you have different content, okay? I haven't even started on it this rotation because I've been extremely busy with other projects, but it's the Amber track. Now, they are already talking about it, which is good. We're going to get to it in a second. Basically, autocomplete. You've done it once, you've done it twice. How many times do I need to be the same things over and over again, right? So introducing the autocomplete would be amazing. Ethernet rally. Another thing that I think it should have some form of an autocomplete that will save us a lot of time. Another thing would be introduce the amount of auto battles you can do. Instead of 10, let us do 20, 30, 40, 50, as much stamina as we want to load. That will save us time from having to constantly go at 10 fights, start again, start again, start again. Oh heck, I forgot to do it. 20 minutes later, go start again. So all of these things could improve it, right? Pretty straightforward. Other than that, yeah, there isn't much that they can really change. You can always do, like, when you start a battle in one of the dungeons, do 2x, 3x, 4x rewards. They use 4x the amount of stamina. For one battle, they give you 4x the rewards. That saves time too, if they don't want to increase the auto battles, right? And that's another solid option that they could potentially utilize. Then, talking about the Amber track. We know many of you have been sharing feedback and commenting on your fears of having to continually repeat this game mode in the long term. Exactly. We do believe having a game mode where you are able to see the main character and Chaco interact and more and move around is important, but we also understand that some middle ground needs to be found here. Totally agree. Our current solution that will be implemented next reset will be the ability to auto-clear previously completed levels under the normal difficulty. You will only need to fight the last floor boss manually for now. Thank you. So that is on normal mode only. Hard difficulty will still require manual gameplay. This will be in our upcoming patch notes as well. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. So you can do normal mode, insta complete because you've defeated that once. Then you get to the final boss, you do your fight. You can still do it on auto. I mean, Siada is OP, Rosa is OP in there. Tons of different strats now, unlike the very first freaking week and second week when the game got released. And you are able to move on to the hard mode where you will have to manual it, but at least you've done half of it on auto. So I'm taking that middle ground. Anti-Sync Echoes and Union Boss. These two will be supporting X5 battles. So it's good to have the X5 battles, which means much faster. But I still think that the Union Boss should be an instant battle. I'm not sure how hard it is for them to implement that in their coding though, but I feel like that would be really, really good. Now, something even more interesting in here, a healthier monetization approach. We're actively working on more rewarding, player-friendly monetization options, the kind that feels good to support and enhance your enjoyment of the game while you also respect your time. So I'm not sure if they meant like they're gonna bring in better packs. That's kind of like what I get from the monetization approach, or something else. Like, why would a different monetization approach will respect my time, right? It just doesn't make sense unless they are planning to introduce some form of a system. I've seen it in different games where it's not necessarily a VIP system. It's something like a monthly pass or something like that, that either will give you more auto battles, either will give you some different type of weird benefits like this, right? So maybe that's what they're planning to do. Not sure. But either way, future purchases will focus more on value, choice, and utility. Some ideas we have are something that would involve both gameplay benefits and research rewards, offering cheap daily stamina packs, and potential adjustments to what is currently available in our weekly shops. Very, very good. Now, let me tell you one thing. I've been filthy degenerate spender in every single game that I've played. I do play accounts free to play if I have the time to start a second account on those games. The thing is, from my point of view, comparing Etheria Restart with other games in terms of monetization, I think they are doing a very poor job at it because they won't be making a lot of money. The packs that they're selling are not many. The value of some of the packs is not great. Now, if you're going at some of these value selections, like right now we have the Lilian banner. This is a decent-ish pack comparing it with this one, right? What you're getting for the same thing, 10 instead of 15. So them trying to basically add a bit of more value to their packs. I'm not saying sell freaking perfect lattice in every single pack so the Krakens get a huge advantage. What I'm saying is try to sell better, cheaper packs. That overall will boost their revenue, because if the low spenders can gain more value from some of the packs that they can purchase, that is amazing. Like, I am not buying this. I am not buying this. I am not buying any of these packs, okay? Literally any of them. Even though the perfect lattice is great to get, I'm not going Kraken mode on the game. And I do not spend money just to purchase this. The thing is, while it might seem good value for some of the Krakens, in my opinion, this is not necessarily the best value for my bucks, right? $30 for one perfect lattice and some random stuff that is pretty useless. It's not cutting it for me to make me want to spend on that pack. So I think working on their monetization is extremely important if they want this game to have a good, healthy longevity. Because if they cannot make money, they cannot develop the game. Now, I know some of you guys will be like, no, we don't want more packs for the whales to buy. We need more packs for whales, low spenders to buy, so the game gets to develop better, okay? If we move on to the next thing, anima skins. Now, I will have to drop a punch in here. Their skins kind of suck because they're just doing recolors. And I feel like everybody's telling them that. It's not just me. But they know it. They know it. And a few unique anima skins are already in the works. Like, I am not buying skins just for a different color, okay? And I know a few of you do it. You buy it for a different color because you're a Kraken, you want to show off how cool you are, which is fine, absolutely not a problem. But me, I would not buy a skin unless it brings something different to the character rather than the color. So it's good to know that they acknowledged that they need to work on that. PvP meta and real-time arena considerations. PvP has been a hot topic and we're taking it seriously as it will be the core of our game for years to come. That's why it's very, very important to do not listen to all of that feedback. In fact, what you could do as game developers is try to get some of the people in the community, give them test server builds, and before implementing changes, have some of the hardcore players that know the game very well test the features, right? Take in 50, 100 players, put them on a test server. Of course, you're going to have to give them something, but that's something that you guys can decide. And get those people to try the new changes before you're trying to implement them in the game. Like, for example, let's buff Revelation back to what it was before. Let's bring in the guys to test it. Is this enough? Or we need to take further measures for the moment. We want to change Bloodbath. We want to change the Bruiser meta. Well, how can we do it? Let's bring in these people to test the ideas that we have. So I feel like in order for them to get to this good leveling, good level of dropping in the right nerfs, buffs, is very important to get people from the community to try the game. Because every time companies tend to release buffs, nerfs, characters, they might think they know it all. They might think, well, I played the game. We all play the game in the office. We know exactly what this character can do. But then that character comes out, the community puts their hands on the character, and they start doing crazy things that it did not even cross through the mind of the developers that people will do. And that's why it's very important to get the community to test things. Now, I'm not saying get a test server to all of the players in the game. It's just kind of like get 50, 100 of the hardcore players that have a good understanding of the game, that are good at making strats and stuff, and have some fun like that, you know? But it seems like that's exactly what they've said right here. I could have cut the last 2 minutes short by just reading the last part. But hey, we'll be collaborating directly with top RTA players and their wider community to evaluate and address meta concerns. That's exactly what you need to do. Okay. A mid-season balance patch is under heavy consideration, although we have stated previously that we would only make adjustments between seasons. We have already shown just recently with Lilium that we are open to adjustments as long as it feels necessary or something has not met our design expectation. Back to the original topic, after receiving lots of feedback from our community, we believe it may be better to avoid waiting 2 months to fix major pain points given current feelings towards RTA. I think so too. So if you guys release a busted thing, or a thing that's very weak, or a thing that's just disrupting the game mode, you definitely should act on it rather than wait 2 months. Because during those 2 months, you will be losing people that are getting frustrated. Maybe they won't quit the game, but they will stop playing that game mode that probably was their biggest enjoyment in the game, right? So you definitely want to address it as soon as possible and balance it. It's not working, that's fine. We'll balance it again. Like, there's no shame in a company doing a change. They're not happy with that change. They're going to do it again. Heck, they're not happy with the second one. They're going to do it again. It's absolutely not a problem as long as they're constantly working to improve that stuff, right? So please let us know your thoughts about this in our feedback channels. In general, though, we would hope to stick to our original plan to make most major changes between seasons, so our future development will keep this in mind. The one thing I do get is the fact that the perfect lattice is hard to get. Everybody kind of like went onto regular DPS. Now everybody's putting them into bruisers. If you've built like Messiah and all of those characters before, now you don't have a lattice for the other ones because it's pretty hard to get. So that's definitely a bit of an issue. In our last season adjustment, we had nerf revelation due to many complaints about it feeling unfun and demotivating for players, especially in the lower ranks of RTA. That's exactly what I'm saying. A lot of people will not understand how to play the game. The game has metas. And because you're listening to the feedback from all of the casual players, which, do not get me wrong, there's absolutely nothing wrong to give your feedback as a casual player. But the thing is, you might not understand, or you might not give a damn, you might not care about developing a better strategy to counter that meta. So because of it, you will feel like, oh my god, this is so overwhelming, right? Although this change was heavily requested within the community, it came with unexpected consequences that have allowed the bruiser meta to dominate. Unfortunately, sometimes during testing, we may not always be able to predict exactly how meta with hundreds of thousands of players will develop. Exactly what I was saying before. Giving us a sign that we need to be more directly involved with our player base when making these decisions. Yes, trust me. Pick a handful of 50, 100 people, give them a test server before you release stuff, and you're going to notice if that is good or not. Now, of course, it won't be the perfect solution, but it's going to be so freaking helpful. Many would argue the current meta is much less engaging than the previous seasons, and we want to fix this as soon as possible if no solutions are being found with the tools that are currently available. Yes, I'm not a fan of engaging into a fight where I literally need to stick in there for 5 to 10 minutes to kill one team, because I value my time very much. I have lots of things to do. I do love playing PvP, but when it's getting to that point, personally, I'm staying away from it. Not because I don't like the PvP, but that meta is just not for me. My time is valuable, and I would rather invest it into something else that overall can give me better value back, right? Given that, we encourage you to create feedback posts giving your thoughts about what a potential mid-season balance patch should look like. We would appreciate input from both high-level players and those who are more casual. Of course, you do need the feedback from everybody. As I was mentioning, it doesn't matter if you're casual or not, you should still share your opinion. But what I'm saying, the devs should not be taking big decisions based only on that feedback, because they're kind of like two different worlds. Casual players, hardcore players. Hardcore players tend to work towards everything to try and min-max everything, get a counter to this, get a perfect strat for that. While casual players, they love to log in, summons, get their dopamine, do a couple of runs, some dailies, log out, forget about it, you know. But long term, we want PvP to feel fair, dynamic, and rewarding at every level. So that's more or less what's happening in terms of PvP. Now we have gear and customization upgrades. We're making big changes to how you build and equip your characters. The module essence shop is being overhauled to allow more flexibility. In addition to the random way to obtain modules in the shop, in the future, players can also buy modules with confirmed main attributes and sub-attributes, which means you can get the perfect piece of gear. I don't want to say it. I'm playing a different game that has this as an event every season, and that is the ultimate freaking best event I've seen in a game. I'm a freaking grinder. I love getting that perfect piece, that perfect god roll gear, okay? And having the ability to get that, the creme de la creme. A new gear crafting system is wrapping up development and will be included in an upcoming patch, designed to give you greater control over your builds without relying on RNG alone. Thank you. The system will be released to the players as an event that will routinely occur at least once per month. Very, very good. Then we will be releasing more information about these upcoming changes soon. So module forge, basically that's how it's going to look like. You select your main, you select your set, you select your piece, you select your set, you select your main, you select your substats. Beautiful. And then I would assume you could select the rolls. Yeah, you can log the attack so it doesn't roll on it and it rolls on the rest. Very, very nice. Then, as you guys can pay attention to the thingy right here, you can get some randoms too, by the looks of it, or you can select them. But that is actually pretty good. I like that event. Inferno Rangakutsu help is on the way. We know the Inferno Rangakutsu boss has been a wall for many of you, and we're addressing it directly. They're not going to nerf the boss. Instead, they're going to bring new characters. Now, I'm not sure if both of them are SSRs or we have an SR and an SSR. But either way, a new banner is coming that features a character specifically designed to help crush Rangokutsu and other challenging PvE content. Each animus has been tested in various ways specifically against Rangokutsu, and we have found the content to be much easier. This will be multiple strategies and synergies available with their kits. For example, try them out with Lilium. That sounds interesting. I do love my Lilium, and she's going to be probably the very first SSR on my account that I'm fully maxing in terms of lattice. I do not like the design on the male character. He looks too young, like a kiddo. But hey, that's what they're bringing in. She looks pretty decent design-wise. Looking forward to the banner. This is not going to be an LD banner. It's going to be a regular banner. Most likely, we're going to have two of them. So they tend to make two banners for non-LD units, but maybe they're only going to bring one SSR, and the SR will be part of the banner, pretty much in the exact same way they've done it for this one right here. And I think that is better. I do like to see more SR units being added to the game. As usual, that's pretty much everything for this video. A lot of things to unpack. Great to hear that the devs are literally well aware of all of these issues and they are listening to them. And it's great to see that they do have plans to involve the community into feedback and other things like that. But as usual, much love, and I will catch you all in the next video. Big shout out to Etheria Restart for sponsoring this video, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.